Hello everybody, my name is Tuto Joy Mudibedi and welcome to my YouTube channel. I genuinely feel like growing up is one of the most difficult things to do. I've been thinking so much about the irony that is attached to growth. We all aspire to grow up and we all aspire to proceed and progress in life, but the one thing that growth comes with is pain, it's loss, it's detachment, it's unlearning, it's undoing a lot, and loss. There is no way that you can grow without losing something. In order for you to proceed into adulthood, you need to let go of your childhood habits and your childhood ways, which means you're going to need to lose your childhood self. In order for you to proceed into adulthood, you're going to need to move away from being a dependent. And that's the irony that comes with growing up and growth. Guys, I honestly feel like we need a crash course in adulting because, this is not what we imagined when we said, I want to be 21, I want to grow up. This is not what we imagined, hey? I just feel like I've seen a lot of memes and people saying we just need to order an adult jumping castle and just jump. Others said we need to go into an empty field and just scream. I concur. We all just need to go into an empty field and scream. Because and I say this because we have expectations attached to growing up. We have things that our childhood selves aspired to become, some of which we have not achieved, some of which we have achieved, but those childhood expectations and those childhood dreams are then what we usually use to scale our growth and determine whether or not we've proceeded or we progressed in life. And unfortunately, society also plays a part in classifying growth, which most part is very toxic, because we're all flowers, and we're planted at different times, and we're exposed to different seasons, we're exposed to different conditions that harbor our growth, and some hinder our growth, right? So we cannot all be scaled using one scale. That's just what we're going to need to establish in this journey of growth. You need to know that you cannot compare yourself to another person when you're trying to establish whether or not you've grown. The best person to benchmark against is yourself, number one. Because the minute you look over into your neighbor's camp and compare your growth, you are going to be left with feelings of an accomplishment. You're going to be left feeling like you're a loser, no matter how much you have achieved in your own personal space, right? And I say this because so many people have achieved so much. So many people have done so much, but because they haven't achieved that one thing that society says you should have done by a certain age, they then feel like they are losers, they are failures, they haven't progressed in life, or they are failing in life. Unfortunately, we're not all going to graduate after university and get jobs at the same time. Number one. Unfortunately, we're not all going to get into relationships and get married within a year or 2 or 3 into the relationship. We're not all going to be married by 30. But that doesn't mean that if you're not or haven't achieved those things by those ages or that timeline, then you're losing or you're a failure. It just means that it's not your time yet. On today's video, I'd really like to unpack the concept of growth and age, and how we classify our success in comparison to our ages, which leads to a lot of toxicity and a lot of feelings of unaccomplishment. You need to define success for yourself. What is success to you? We need to break the toxic cycle of comparing ourselves to other people and comparing ourselves against age, scaling ourselves against age. So you need to go back to your personal closet and sit down in solitude without external factors at play or without external voices, expectations, and just define success for yourself. What does success look like for you? What does success look like for you? How or at which level will you feel like I am successful? For some people, success is peace. Being at peace with themselves, being at peace, or just being at perfect peace for some people is success. They define that as success, and that's okay. For some people who are materialistic, for lack of a better word, for some people, Mercedes-Benz is an achievement. For some people, a double story is an achievement, which is okay. That's their own personal achievement. What is not okay is then comparing the person who feels like perfect peace is their accomplishment to the one who feels like a double story is their accomplishment. Because both of them are successful according to themselves, right? We just need to do away with the toxic definitions of success. Success to you isn't what it is to me. And that's okay. We all need to just understand that each of us are running a different race, which is cool. We just need to understand that someone else doesn't aspire to be a millionaire. Another aspires to be a billionaire. Perfect. Go ahead and do it, my boy. You know? So you need to go back to your own personal closet and define success for yourself. So that as you set your own personal goals, you know what you are aiming for. You know what success for you looks like. And regardless of what anybody else is going to say for you or to you on your journey towards your success, you won't be bothered because you've gone back and your expectations and your goals are set on you, nobody else. Society expects so much from us. Our parents expect so much from us, and the people in our lives expect so much from us that is sometimes different from what we want for ourselves. And it's very unfortunate that putting yourself first is classified as being selfish in society. It's not selfish to put yourself first. Take care of you so that from the overflow of your peace, you can then pour into others. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't. You cannot pour from an empty cup because the minute you try to compromise yourself and your values and your needs to take care of other people's needs, you then create room for resentment. You're going to wake up one day and feel so unaccomplished because while you were busy accumulating for other people and sacrificing so much for other people, you neglected yourself. And unfortunately, people can turn around and tell you that they didn't ask you to do it, which is true. You chose to do it, right? Even if they asked, you chose to do it. So be selfish, my boy. Take care of you first. Make sure that you're good. Make sure that you're grounded. Make sure that you are taken care of. Make sure that you're at peace. Make sure that, man, just take care of you first, because the best person to cater to another person is a whole person. You don't want to be the type of person that wakes up one day and is full of resentment. Yes, go back to your own personal space and define what success looks like for you. If success for you is a Lamborghini, go get your Lamborghini. If success for you is being able to have a roof over your head, regardless of what the roof looks like, then stick to that definition of your success. Because, well, we are not going to end up in peace if we keep on chasing other people's definitions of success. You need to know what your capabilities are. Know what you are able to do and know what you are able to achieve with what you have. Because the minute you aspire outside of your capabilities, or the minute you want to subscribe to a lifestyle that you can't afford, is the minute you're going to then accumulate debt. You're going to accumulate debt in order for you to be able to afford that lifestyle, which in the end is going to breed nothing but depression, is going to breed nothing but you being, your name and image being thrown around and tarnished because you were chasing a lifestyle that you simply cannot afford. Be true to yourself. If you desire a lavish lifestyle, go ahead and do that. If you desire a simple life, go ahead and live that. We just need to let each other be, man. Yo, guys, we're all going through so much that the last thing we need is for each other to be comparing each other. The comparison is literally just, it's unnecessary. And the other thing that we're just going to need to make peace with is the fact that adult friendships are so hard to navigate. Adult friendships they're so hard to navigate, and of course we all need support, of course we all need friends, of course we all need people that we can depend on. But with adult friendships, you simply don't have the luxury of seeing your friends every day, talking to them every day, because we're all scattered around. Some of our friends are overseas, some of our friends are in different countries, we live in different time zones, some are mothers, some are fathers, some are sold out to careers, so you can't then hold another person ransom and call them a fake friend simply because they're not available to you when you want them to be. You need to understand that the friendship dynamics change as we grow up. Number one, we need to understand that unfortunately we're going to lose some of our friends along the way. Not because they're bad people, not because you're a bad person, not because it ended in bad blood, but simply because you just drifted apart because of the paths that life took you in. And sometimes the best of our friends, we don't see each and every day. We don't talk to each and every day. I haven't seen my best friend in the longest of times, but when we do link up, I know that my girl is my girl and the vibe is still real, you know? My other best friend is in another country, you know? And man, adulting is a headache. And I still genuinely reiterate the fact that I feel like we need a crash course in adulting, especially in this digital age, because there's so much. There's so many Instagram pretty pictures, there's so much that you can't ignore. And whether you know it or not, whether it's conscious or unconsciously, you get influenced by these things and they influence your perception as well. So you need to be very careful what you're consuming. You need to be careful of where your expectations are stemming from, and you need to weigh your expectations according to your ability. Are you able to achieve those expectations? Do you even want to achieve those expectations, or you just want to achieve them so that you can fit into a certain class of people? Be true to yourself. The most expensive thing is peace. Is the minute you lose your peace, you just lose yourself. You become ungrounded. And the minute you're at peace, you can sleep at night. You can think clearly, you know? And I think let's just all go into an empty field and scream valley, because Runa 95. Guys, we were only born 27 years ago. Only. Guys, we were Rabatuna. Hey, Rabatuna. Hey, yo guys, Rabatuna. What is it about Hulu? My 2000, I turned 22. My 2000, I turned 22. My 2000, I turned 22. Like Rabatuna. I remember being in grade 1 in 2001, feeling like 2020. Ila Udra Vision 2016. I just felt like, are we even going to be alive? Look at us now. We even have another Vision 20 something. Yo! Give yourself grace, man. Allow yourself to grow at your own pace and blossom at your own pace. Just give yourself grace. There's a lot that we're going through. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of disappointment. There's a lot of There's a lot. And the last thing you want to be subjecting yourself to is other people's expectations. Give yourself grace to grow. Allow yourself the time to blossom. Don't skip steps. If you can, congratulations, go right ahead. Why not? But don't skip steps unnecessarily just because another person is pushing you towards that. Don't live beyond your means, my boy. Peace is expensive. Protect your peace at all costs. It'll go a long, long way. And just be grounded, Protect your peace, man. Protect your peace. Stay away from unnecessary drama. Stay away from unnecessary deaths. Stay away from unnecessary... Hey, man. Just love where you are loved. Plant where you are planted. Whatever that means. But what I'm basically saying is for you to nurture where you're nurtured, because in this phase of life, in this phase of adulting, you cannot afford to give and not get back. We are simply sowing so that we can get back. Adulting, the adulting relationships that we have right now, so be selfish. You're not being selfish, it's just that society calls it selfishness. It's not being selfish. You're putting yourself first. You're filling your cup so that from your overflow, you can feed those who are around you, those who depend on you. The reason why we call black text is because it feels like text, because we all want to do for those, we all want to give back. But I genuinely believe that the best gift that you can give from is one, it's coming from the depth of your heart and you're satisfied about it. How munamuni while you're giving. The reason why people who have done for their parents before they've done for themselves is because the reason why they are bitter, most of them, and they are angry is because they are now done with doing for their parents, right? Now it's time to do for themselves. Maybe they're not as young anymore. Maybe they're not as fortunate anymore. Maybe they've lost their jobs, but now they don't have, but they've done for another person, which then feels like I was used. Hey, way. Give from your abundance. I genuinely just desire to give from my abundance. So build, and then give from your abundance. Protect your peace and manage your expectations, man. You're not a superhuman, you're not a robot. Rest. Because rest is not failure. You do need to rest. When your body demands for you to rest, please do rest. Give yourself grace. You're only a human being. No matter how superhuman you think you are but a human being. Be kind to yourself and others. My name is Tuta Joy Mudibedi. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye. Why don't you let us be?